Oh man, are we getting used to this place? Hello everyone, and welcome back to Wes Plays Pokemon Colosseum. I believe this is the unlucky episode number 13, finally. I just want to kind of point out how long this part of the game is, like how demanding it is. First of all, that door doesn't open from this side. That's our way back upstairs. The elevator only goes down. So, who calls it back up? How does it get called back up? All that garbage. You understand, right? Interesting. Second, oh my goodness, this base is huge. Let me call out. Oh, let me call out the number of trainers that I passed. You know, anybody can keep count. I can keep count even. You know, here, 1, 2. Oh, plus there was the one guy that was in that was in here. That's 3 trainers. And yes, you do get a save point, and you get to heal your Pokemon in between. But that's just the point. You kind of have to come back here if you want to keep battling all of these guys, or if you want to keep healing your Pokemon. And then you got to go through all of these guys. I mean, seriously, it's huge. You get used to this place. And what's even worse is there's another place like it. There's another place like it, not only in this game, but in XD, that you get to just as early. And that's the thing. I feel like that's actually probably a flaw with this game. And I know it's weird. My favorite game, I fanboy all over this game. And yet I can easily call out that flaw. These bases, they just go on forever. They're kind of like the caves in the early games, in Kanto. And even Mount Coronet. Okay, that route from Mount Coronet to oh my gosh, what is the place called? Snowpoint City in the Sinnoh region. That is a huge, massive route, that it takes forever to get through. And note how fast it is if I weren't battling the trainers, but the fact is, I am. I'm battling all of these trainers in this area, and that's what takes so long. Also, I don't know if there's actually a hidden item back there. There might actually have been, and I just missed it. But yeah, you see how massive this place can be. And that's just my point. You go through all of these trainers in this place, and then when do you get to battle the boss? And when do you get to get out of the place and actually be able to free roam it? Because these people will notice you, and they'll trigger the same battles over and over again if you leave the city and then come back. All of these people you can rebattle. Oh sweet, a Dunsparce. Now see, wouldn't it be really cool if we actually got a Dunsparce in these games? Or sorry, if we got a Dunsparce evolution in the 6th generation. My goodness, I got completely distracted. My bad. That was so bad of me. Did I just bubble beam that Dunsparce? I think I just bubble beamed the Dunsparce. Oh goody. Sorry, I just had to answer a text. Oops, yeah. You know what? I'll use a shadow. I'll use a critical move against that. Oh snap, I actually didn't start my timer. Why do I keep forgetting this? It's like the worst thing ever. Okay, stopwatch is started. How far behind is it? 4 minutes, that's not so bad. It's about as far behind as it was before. I wish I could start it with like a handicap or whatever, like have it started like 4 minutes ahead of time or whatever. But whatever. I'll just get used to adding it 4. Love seeing Marib. Marib is actually kind of a nice looking Pokemon. It's got a cool color combination. Everything. Oh, that's fantastic. I'm paralyzed all around. And I had just healed my Pokemon too. That's crazy. Although, I will say, I actually recognize this place, and I probably shouldn't have gone all the way back to heal my Pokemon. This is one of the nice things about this. The game recognizes how far you've been, and it does give you a checkpoint every now and then. So could you guys imagine, like I said before, a Dunsparce evolution? That would be really cool. I want something like that. Like a Dunspargan. Like, seriously, Google Dunspargan, and you'll see some really cool pictures. There's one in particular that I'm thinking of. I can't really share it in good faith because I don't know who the artist is, and it just looks phenomenal. Yeah, no problems here. I really like Ultra Balls. I want to get more of those. And I believe I have just unlocked Surf. Fantastic. It's not very effective is probably an oh, you don't have Surf. That's right, you have Takedown. Okay, whatever. I don't mind, I guess. It's not very effective is quite an understatement. Of course you are, Mantine. Thank you. Jeez. Okay. Well, that's why they give you all these items early on in the game. Because they realize you'll need them. Whether you want to or not. That's actually one of the things, you know, I know a lot of people will go through the entire game. They won't buy a single item, even Pokeballs. They'll just play with the team that they have. It's actually a really fun way to play. I kind of like it. And that's how I did for the first few times I actually played Fire Red and Leaf Green. I never bought any items. Even Evolution Stones I didn't buy because you already found a lot of them. That's one of the great things. In Kanto, they're common. What's great is we'll even get used to this cave and underground area quite easily. And here's the checkpoint that I was talking about earlier. It's interesting that they put it like right here. I wonder why they do that. It could be because of... Oh. No, it couldn't be. That's right, I can't get there yet. Interesting. Oh well. They put a checkpoint there. So that basically tells us pretty much all we need to know. That we're pretty close to the... That we're pretty close to what is probably considered the middle. Sorry for my stutter there. I just like to explore all this cave, make sure I'm not missing any places. Duking's finished. It's the dawning of Mirror Bees time. So apparently Duking is the is kind of one of the bosses of this town. Like he runs a lot of stuff in this city. Because I'm pretty sure Duking is supposed to be the one that runs the Colosseum. And these guys are all saying it's Mirror Bees time. I'm starting to see a pattern. People are using Lotads and Lombres out the wazoo right now. It's kind of interesting. Kind of tells me something. Jeez, I really miss having my... They don't have faces! Oh, that's hilarious! Oh my gosh! Okay, explanation time. The reason you're seeing this kind of act a little shaky in the graphics not being so good is I'm running it on an emulator, and the emulator is not... It's not perfect, obviously. It's a game. It's technically a Wii emulator, and I know Wii's not really a modern system. I suppose I would consider it, or I suppose I wouldn't consider it a modern system. But the thing is, it is kind of powerful. It's definitely about as it's definitely too powerful to actually be emulated to its fullest extent on my machine, because my machine's not a very good machine. But that's why you're seeing the graphical errors like this, because it's in the emulator, and the emulator doesn't really fix everything from time to time. It's kind of funny to see it every once in a while, but they did speed up the game, which is really nice, or they did improve the performance of the game, which is really nice. Ah, finally using moves that aren't shadow moves. It's kind of nice. Sometimes they do more damage too, which is great. Wait, what did he say? Mirabé's age. Is Mirabé's age really going to arrive? Jeez. Maybe. I can see why it takes him forever to do anything. He's so deep in this base. Wait, what? Crap. I think this is the area to advance because it's the most obvious. So this is a satellite area of the base. It's hard to tell sometimes. What's great is that this is kind of reminding me... No eyes. Oh. Oh, that makes Shuppet look so much cooler. Oh, that's perfect. What's funny is... this reminds me of back in... Where was it? In Magma and Aqua's base off of Lily Cove City. Their job is basically to just stall you. That's it. That they tell you directly that it's like, oh, we were here to just stall you. You know, we're here to waste your time so that the boss can get away. And it doesn't matter how quick you get to him, obviously, since it's a Pokemon game. It won't matter. But this is what it's like. This is what it's reminding me of. And this is actually one of those things where it's kind of telling you, you know, that they're stalling you if you pick up on the clues, obviously. But it's not so much, they're not telling you directly, which is basically they're not insulting your intelligence, which is really nice. It makes this game definitely seem more mature than the other ones. And at this point, yeah, I actually am going to switch out to Umber, or Espeon. Espeon will do a good job out in the field here. One of the things I gotta get used to again in this game is I used to battle with the set mode on instead of shift. So it would never ask me if I want to shift my Pokemon when somebody sends out a new one. Well, in this double battle mechanic, in the types of battles in this game, it won't ask you if you want to switch. So if you have to switch, you gotta switch in battle, which makes the battle a little bit more like a player versus player battle. It makes it much more real. It's really cool. I really like it. Can't wait until Espeon learns Psychic. I might have to teach it to it in a TN. Or maybe Espeon will get to level 40 before that. It's crazy how long it takes for them to learn moves. But one of the things you'll notice I'm doing is I'm actually generally rotating Pokemon out and trying to do it outside of battle for the most part, so that they all get enough turns and so they all get kind of the experience that they need to all be at generally the same, or to be all at a generally similar level. Talking is not my strong suit today. I'm not doing so great. There weren't any shadow Pokemon to be caught there. Oh well. I think the shadow Pokemon are mainly in the teams of those that are actually in the way of Mirabee, or on the way to Mirabee. So that's one way I'll basically know which way I'm going. Is if any of these guys over here have a shadow Pokemon, I'll know that is probably the way that I'm supposed to be going, and I should go back and check for items in the other area. This seems a pretty satellite place though, so we'll see. A pretty remote location of the base. And this is interesting. We are at another place. That is Mirabee's lair. And I'm going to skip it. Yes, I'm going to skip it. You saw correctly. There's a long bridge. Where's this Mirabee's lair? Jeez, I'm lost again. Wow. This is horrible. I think I can get to it both ways, but I'm pretty sure up there was Mirabee's base. Attack both at the same time. Maybe the battle will go faster if I actually knock one of these guys out first. Whew. I can only hope. This guy's ready to purify fast, though. Smantine. I think I want to keep it in my party, so I kind of want it to have a little bit more experience as a Shadow Pokemon without it being purified. To be honest, it really doesn't matter. I don't think it really matters whether you purify it or not right away. But it is nice to actually have all those levels even before you get to Agate Village where you can purify them. So that's something. Gonna get rid of that Linen before it does any more damage. I'm still loving that I'm actually getting some shots off on these Pokemon, and I'm not having to go back and heal after every single battle. And I guess I should be fair. If you compare the sheer number of trainers in each of these places to a place in a main series game, it's actually not that much more. And especially for the size of this game, you know, for what's in this game and how the game is played, where you won't have wild Pokemon battles, it kind of makes sense. Like, if this is considered a gym, it would be really cool that it would have more battles than just the 3 to 5 trainers that are usually in a gym. And so I kind of like that. Man, I should really not be like... Maybe I'll have to switch out. I'm thinking about going back and playing Pokemon Mystery Dungeon now that I've actually finished Alpha Sapphire. I do have to start Y over again, though, because my Y file got corrupted. Piece of advice for you guys: you cannot use multiple save files on a 3DS by exploiting the SD card. I've tried it. I can confirm it does not work. I wish it did. I wish they kind of like let you have... I would normally say I wish they had a memory card system or something similar, so that way you could kind of switch out the memory card if you want to start a different file or something like that. But what I really wish is that they just allowed multiple files in the Pokemon games. I can see where that might not work out, you know, with you wanting to trade between yourself and stuff, but maybe there could be a way to transfer the Pokemon between them, like, especially with Pokemon Bank being available. Of course, that also does make it a little bit more complicated with Pokemon Bank being accessible, being a different amount of accessible with each of the games that you have. You know, so like it'll try to prioritize the one in your game slot over the or in your actual physical slot than the one that's in your memory. So I don't know how that would work, but it would be really cool if it just did. That's what I'm saying. And I'm sure everybody agrees with me. Seriously, this is not an unpopular opinion. This is something that many people have been wanting and even asking for a very long time. What's really going to be nice is seeing the old games remade on the Virtual Console. I squeed at that. I was so happy. Especially with the wireless communication being enabled between them. I mean, that really points out the power that the actual developers have. Like it emphasizes how much control the developers have over the game, how much they can actually do with it, which means at some point you may actually be able to bank your Pokemon from that game, or from those first generation games that you downloaded on Virtual Console, which I'm not saying is something that people will actually need or want to do. It's just, it would be really interesting if we could, you know? It'd be really nice if we could, I should say. And that's exactly what I mean at this point. That, sorry, the thing that people won't like about this, the thing that people won't like about that specific idea, is that, or the thing, sorry, I keep losing my train of thought. The thing that people won't like about that idea is that they'll have to start over a new file. It's not the same Pokemon that they grew up playing with, that they grew up having. And if their save battery died at some point, then it's definitely not the Pokemon that they should have been able to recover before then. And that's what kind of sucks, you know, is that we all kind of had to deal with that at some point or another. You know, either whether it be a save battery dying or just having to reset the game because of how you know, you want to play a new game, but you don't have the ability to just store your Pokemon and bring them back. You know, unless you have 2 Game Boys or 2 DSs, you're not going to do that. And honestly, a lot of Pokemon fans will probably have multiple of each system just because of that reason. You know, it's not so much that they're playing with their friends, it's that they're straight up trying to trade with themselves. Which is kind of the opposite of what that idea was created for. That idea was created so that, or that idea was thought of so that it would encourage interaction between gamers. Yes, it was definitely to sell more copies, but to split the game versions and stuff like that was so that, you know, they would get more players rather than more sales. You know, they probably didn't expect at the time for people to just get the game themselves and be lonely and, you know, trade with themselves. But that's what we all did. Well, that's what most of us did anyway. Kind of brings it back, I guess. Anyway, depends on how old you are as a gamer. And I mean, I'm not trying to say that, you know, if you're 14 or whatever, it won't bring you back. It will definitely bring you back. You know, it only takes a couple of years of playing the game. But it's just, it's kind of it really is an interesting thought, you know. All the things that they could have done right in the games. Imagine if they just made like one really solid game where you could catch every single Pokemon and visit any region you wanted to, or every region you wanted to. Sadly, I wouldn't get my wish because I want this region in whatever game it is, and I want it to be handheld. I really want this game to be remade. But I honestly doubt that's going to happen. I'd really be happy with like a sequel to the series, with Colosseum and XD being actually having kind of a story in them, and them having, you know, battles out the wazoo. They have plenty of battles. That's what's so nice about them. You know, they have plenty of battles, they have plenty of story, and they even have plenty of Pokemon, and they have an interesting way of getting the Pokemon. You know, they're unique games. Oh, did that Tentacle just use a water move on me and the Mantine just absorb it? That was really cool. I didn't think I would get a break like that. Sweet! Maybe I should keep that Tentacle alive a little bit longer. So yeah, that's something that I would like to see. You know, they make maybe a remake, or maybe a game similar to this one. I don't want to see another Battle Revolution or Stadium game like most people want to see. I just want to see like them actually make one with a story and, you know, fully 3D and fully somewhat unique. You know, somewhat different from the other games. I would really like to see Shadow Pokemon again, honestly. Of course, excusing the finding an excuse for the Shadow Pokemon to be coming back again in this region would be kind of ridiculous. People would be like, "Nah, I'm not buying it," and they would mean it in both senses of the term. You know, they're not going to buy the game, or they're not going to believe the story because, you know, Shadow Pokemon coming back. They'll be like, "I've done this twice. I've already saved the world twice. I think I'm done saving these people," especially if they won't learn. How do you guys feel about me playing XD after this? Because I actually kind of want to. I actually kind of want to play Pokemon XD after I play this game. Or like, you know, directly after I finish this series, I kind of want to play XD. Because XD is a much nicer game. XD is a much more relaxed game compared to this one. You do have more battles, you have way more Shadow Pokemon, and all that stuff. It is, honestly, for the sake of argument, XD is probably the better game. Don't you people have any sense of direction? I bet you're having trouble getting around in this cave. Hey, shut up. I totally have a sense of direction. Oh my gosh. Yeah, this is definitely the right direction. I'm gonna battle you anyway. I was thinking maybe I should go back and heal my Pokemon, or maybe I should go back and try to pick up that last item in the other downstairs area, I guess, or the other upstairs area. I can't remember. I'll find it again. We'll see. Cypher Peons, or Cypher Peons. I'll call them Peons because that's just how I pronounce it. I'm not like those other people. Cypher Peons. These guys, the mystery troops, the people with the I don't know what I would call those. They definitely look like Power Ranger outfits, kind of. Don't know how to describe it, but you get the idea. When you start seeing these guys, you start thinking it's really serious. It's really interesting too, because in you actually do start fighting against other Cypher people in this game, and I completely forgot they even existed, because I always figured the enemy in this game was actually Team Snag'em. You know, of course I hadn't seen, you know, the whole game played before I thought that. It was a really long time ago, back when XD was actually new. And you started battling Cypher and XD, and I'm like, oh, dude, Cypher, that's a new team. No, Cypher's not a new team at all. It's kind of funny. Also, I really like that you're getting different battle music with these guys. It makes it kind of seem more serious. And it kind of is, because the battle does seem a bit more... These Pokemon do seem a bit stronger. Not the battle seems difficult. It seems more difficult. It's definitely not more difficult. I'd really like to see them step up the trainer AI a little bit. They do for the most part in this game. Like, the trainers actually do have double battle strategies. And when we battle Justy, you'll definitely see that. He has a Sandstorm strategy, and his Pokemon know what they're doing. Or rather, he knows what he's doing with his Pokemon. It's honestly a really interesting experience. When I start purifying Pokemon, I might actually go back and try to battle him. Win or lose, it'll still be really interesting and fun to see. Jeez, I wish this thing would just die. Finally. I don't like fossil Pokemon. They have a really high defense. And they tend to be rock types. I used to not like rock types until I actually started using water, grass, and fighting types, which I didn't use very often because my favorite types were fire and psychic, and dark. Actually, I kind of like the dark type. They don't really have a lot of Pokemon in that type, but it is nice. They are nice to use. Okay, I'm gonna switch out Mantine. I realize Mantine's already almost dead, and it probably wouldn't matter very much, but I'm gonna do it anyway. I could even switch out my Umbreon, but I don't know. I think Umbreon can hold his own in this. He's a tank. He can take all the moves. Okay, so I do want to make something else clear. Since I said that the last episode was going to be probably the longest episode I've had, and this episode is probably going to be, you know, even a little bit longer than that, I do want to point out that I am probably going to stop talking about episode lengths. Well, I'm going to stop as much as I can, because I've found out that it really doesn't matter. I mean, it's not so much that I think people will watch anyway, it's that I think if people are interested, they will watch. If they're not interested and they don't watch, then I really shouldn't care so much. Especially if it makes sense to make the game continuous. I shouldn't make you guys wait a whole week to cut, you know, I shouldn't cut a place in half so often. You know, and I guess that could be fixed. This could definitely be fixed with like sped up time lapses and montages and stuff. But yeah, we'll see. One thing I will say that that YouTuber I talked about in the last episode didn't do, they did re-record one of their first Let's Plays, which was Colosseum. However, what they didn't do was they didn't do a Mirror B montage at the end of XD where they went and caught every Pokemon that they missed. And I thought that would have been actually really cool. Oh wow, that's really dark. While I was all busy battling, what happened to that Pokemon that I was after? And look at that, I was wrong. That is a dead end, so I have definitely gone in the right direction. That is interesting. 2 dead ends down these stairs, so I love this. I'm actually not wasting my time going back and forth. I will heal though, and I'm actually going to switch out, because this Furret needs some experience. And so does Espeon. I like to keep at least one non-shadow Pokemon out in the field. So yeah, I'm going to go back and heal my Pokemon, even though it's going to make it... It's going to be a little bit longer. Alright, you know what? You know what? I'm going to take you. Ah, all these hunters want promotions. That Furret's heart gauge has gone really far down. Oh, yes! Shadow Pokemon. Oh, wow. That would actually be an interesting one to put on my team. I don't need something that can fly, but it would be really nice to actually have that one on my team just for the sake of having a dragon type. And I already failed, but that's okay because we can come back and we can battle this guy later. That Swablu won't be a higher level or anything like that, and it won't be any easier to catch, but I'll at least have another chance at it. I think that's the second one I've just knocked out. And it wasn't my fault. That was a critical hit. That was Espeon's fault. I'd normally punish Espeon for doing that, but honestly, I'm not going to be that broken up about it. It's not something that I plan on having on my team before, so I'm not going to miss it. I use Swift for once. I know it's not that effective, but neither is Psychic against a Beldum. And actually, Bite wouldn't be that effective against it either, since Steel resists Dark in the third, in you know, all of the generations except for 6th and 1st, where Steel doesn't exist and Dark doesn't exist in 1st. This is hilarious. I love that they have no faces. So many Pokemon, too, don't have any faces, like, what was it? Barboach doesn't have a face or any actual features on it. And Lombre doesn't have a face. There must be something about their textures that it just doesn't want to load. And maybe it's the number of colors that it is. I'm just gonna have Espeon work on the other Pokemon. Wait, why am I using Shadow Rush? Oh, I have a Furret out, that's right. Like, why am I using Shadow Rush? I could be using Flame Wheel, and I'm like, it's not the Quilava that's out. I'm definitely gonna like keeping that Mongoose on my team. And by Mongoose, I mean Quilava, I'm not dumb. I wasn't calling Furret a Mongoose, I know what Furret is. I know Furret is a ferret. Or a mink. Not sure. I'm pretty sure minks have shorter tails or something. I don't actually know the difference between the two. Whatever. It's gonna be doubly ineffective, but it's my most powerful move. Point proven. Oh, sweet! Thank you, Furret. I totally needed that. Hurt yourself. Dang it. Well, you're gonna hurt yourself anyway. Whatever. Wish that were your Shadow Pokemon. Why couldn't that Beldum be your Shadow Pokemon? I could have had a really cool Shadow Pokemon. Oh well. We'll get a Shadow Metagross later in the game. Maybe. Really no excuse not to after we get the Master Ball. That's one thing I will say. I will probably use the Master Ball glitch later on in the game when it comes to the two hardest to catch Shadow Pokemon, because their catch rate, even in the main series games, is extremely low. Like, it's seriously like catching a Legendary. It's equal to catching a Legendary. And I really don't want to have to go through that. I might anyway, just for fun, just because, you know, at that point it'll be do it for the Let's Play, but I don't know. We'll see. Nothing's set in stone yet. Alright, we are almost there. It's gonna be so great. There it is. There's Mirabree's lair. We are almost there. Let me see if there's anything back here, though. There's always something if you go the wrong way. There's always rewards. Of some sort there aren't in this case. Alright! In the next episode! I'm just kidding. I'm not going to make you wait. I'm actually going to go and heal my Pokemon right now. Gosh, wouldn't that suck? I could definitely make it its own episode. I release it separately. It would give me more views, but the thing is, I'm not doing it for views, and I can always, I would like to record it separately if I want to show it off to people, like if I want to say, you know, show it off to like my family and friends and be like, hey, check this out, I did this awesome Let's Play, this is what it looks like, or this is me battling Mirror B, you know. But, maybe we'll save that for the next time we have a boss battle or something like that. Besides, I actually won't have these episodes uploaded until way after I see those people, so it's not going to be a big deal anyway. Which reminds me, I do have episode 3 technically uploaded on YouTube, so it's not live, it's not published yet, but it's uploaded, and so I think that affects the upload date, and that will also affect the number of views I have on it per the date, which again doesn't matter as much to me, but it's something to consider. Do you hear that? Little faint music in the background? But here we are. Mirror B. Oh, you silly goose. I'm gonna walk around your base. Hey, people, going that way is a no-no. Yeah, he's just gonna... The only thing keeping us from going through the store is literally him telling us not to. Like, are we really gonna listen to this guy? Look at this. 4 Lady Colos dancing with him. I love this guy. Best guy ever. Best boss ever. Look at those moves. Oh, you kept me waiting for so long, I decided to work up a little perspiration. Whoa, 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 whoa. Love how they laugh in this game. So, yeah, he kind of makes a point. We went through this huge gauntlet of minions. He's a serious boss. We're down in the tunnel system underneath Pyrite City, which is like already thug and gangster zone. This is the shadiest place we could possibly be. And then we enter, and we see this silly bitch. But my, have you been busy being naughty and messing up our plans, excuse me. It was oh so close for everything to just turn out just right, just the way we hoped. But I can salvage our plan by beating you, little man. And so, there's time for one last dance before the grand finale. Let the music play! Okay. I tell you what I'm going to do. I'm actually going to turn this into 2 episodes, but I'm going to upload them both on the same day. So that way, you'll just watch the next video and it'll be fine. Alright. And this is mostly cut just for time, because we're almost at the 40-minute mark, and this battle with Mirror B can take a really long time if you're unprepared. I'm partially prepared, I'll admit, but it seriously really will take a long time. So I will see you guys in the next one. And honestly, like I really said, I will upload this right afterwards, so you won't have to wait very long. Thank you for watching, and I will see you in just a minute.